it's Chinyere here. So today I'm doing an update video to my last year's How Much Do YouTubers Make My Check. Now at first I was going to wait till next month, but the subscriber reminded me, hey, it's been a year actually, because my check came in July, but I didn't post the video until August. So guys, it's been a full year and a lot has changed. So funny because I still get comments on the video saying, oh my gosh, you only make $160 a month and you're at 34,000 subscribers? Like, you're getting gypped off. So yeah guys, I felt like, you know what? Let's talk about it. So the way that I'm going to do the breakdown of the video is I'll explain misconceptions, FAQs, like a lot of questions that people ask me. Then I'll show you my check from January of this year until now. And then I'll explain to you guys the breakdown and then other ways to help bring more money to your channel other than videos. Or if you already have videos up, how to get more money out of the videos that you already have up on your channel and future ones. Even if you guys are bragging about how much you make, you should be proud of yourselves. I mean, we're putting money into this. We're putting our hearts, souls, mind, time, hard work, our feelings, our lives, everything. And you literally are putting yourself out there and making yourself available to millions of people every single day. So you gotta give yourself a pat on the back. I mean, YouTube is not easy as you think, especially if you're really putting yourself into it. There aren't a lot of jobs where you have to put money in to actually get something back. Those jobs are usually like scams. Hey, you buy a vacuum, you can... Okay, so first let's talk about YouTube misconceptions. There are people who actually think that we get paid for each subscriber that we have. No, you don't. The way that you get paid is through Google AdSense. AdSense is an interest-based ad company that runs through Google. YouTube does not pay you. Google AdSense actually pays you. So it always makes me laugh whenever people say like YouTube checks, because really it's a Google check. You're considered a content creator or self-contractor for YouTube. The way that you monetize your videos is going to your creator studio, you go into your video manager, and then you can just click check, and then you can click the option for monetization. When you upload it, you can also choose the option to do it or not, or you can have it automatically whenever you upload a video, or you can just manually go in there and automatically monetize your videos every time you upload. Another question that I got asked a lot is, when should I expect my money and how will it get there? Okay. You typically get paid from YouTube on the 21st through the 23rd. It just depends on if it's a holiday, if it's the weekend like on Sunday, because I have gotten paid on Saturday, so it's just Sunday that you wouldn't. And then you're gonna get direct deposit. They used to do paper checks. Now, as far as actually seeing your money show up in your creator studio, that is totally up to you. What you guys have to do is sign up for AdSense. There are multiple videos on how to do it, so I won't go too in depth. You sign up for AdSense, you're going to receive a Google Pin in the mail. Once you receive that, that's pretty much just to verify like where you live or where you are and verify who you are. And then you enter that, and then you're going to start seeing money usually start appearing. For some reason, everybody starts seeing like 15 cents. I mean, first one I know I did and other friends of mine first off 15 cents, so maybe that's just like a starter. I don't really know. The only time you'll ever see your earnings from YouTube going through PayPal is if you're with a network. A network is something that you totally like just don't want to join. It's almost like the union at your job whenever you do that scary like video and they're like, don't join a union. Don't join a network. Only 2 times where it's okay to join a network, and that's if your country does not get Google AdSense, or if you're a very large YouTuber and are only taking a very minuscule amount out of your check. So the way that networks work is they take from the poor and they give to the rich. Networks need big names to promote themselves, so they'll offer you a deal. They'll typically start off a little bit high, but big YouTubers are smart and they will negotiate way lower, and they'll accept it because they need your name to keep things going. So example, when I say big, I mean like 800,000 plus. I've seen YouTubers with 300,000, 500,000 subscribers get scammed out of their money. Now, whenever you see a YouTuber saying, oh my gosh, I love Style Hall, they gave me a new iPhone, or we're going on trips with Style Hall, or you know, blah blah, that's literally with smaller YouTubers' money. I mean, of course, big YouTubers are making a lot of money, but they're probably only taking like 0.5%, 1%, and in return, these people actually really work with them, and they put them in different priorities than smaller YouTubers, even though they're taking a much larger portion out of smaller YouTubers' money, and you'll be lucky if they even get back to you. A big YouTuber, if they're having an issue with the video, within a day or two, they can have your video right back up. A smaller YouTuber, even though they're taking more money from you, you're not as important. So if you even hear from them, you may get a response within like a month or so, and it's too late, your video's already done with. People can come in and flag videos, do whatever, and they can't really do much. And you may get offered a banner, and then when they have like little parties, you're typically excluded. Like they'll put the big YouTubers on the top of the list, of course, because that's what's going to bring them more money, and it makes them more reputable to people like you because you signed up. And then on top of that, they only accept a certain type of look. If you go on there, you're going to see all these girls that look the same, and you may see a person that may just look a little different on there, but mostly it's the same look, same type of guys, same type of girls, and that's just what they want. On top of that, even if you're a big YouTuber, because you look a certain way, you're probably going to be on like the 3rd page instead of the front page. And as far as smaller YouTubers go, like I said, negotiate your contract. On top of that, bigger YouTubers can go by a month-by-month case. Smaller YouTubers, they will lock you into a 4-year deal, a 2-year deal, like a 1-year deal, and they'll keep taking your money because they have access to your AdSense because you gave it to them. The only way that you can get out of your contract is if you delete your account, is from what I've heard, because I've seen other people try to change their passwords, try to talk to them out of it, just do all kinds of things, try to switch over their Google AdSense account, but AdSense is so tricky, like it's pretty much impossible, almost honestly, to get out of it. Like I've tried signing up with different emails when I first didn't really get AdSense, and yeah, that didn't work, and I was just simply trying to switch over emails. They immediately detected it was me, so yeah, watch out for networks. Don't join it unless you cannot get it in your country, and and don't join it unless you cannot get Google AdSense in your country. And on top of that, like, negotiate your contract, ask them for a smaller percentage taken out, and you need to tell them that you don't want to be in it with them that long. And then on top of that, if you're a bigger YouTuber and they're actually like working for you and not like against you, then I would say do it. Other than that, guys, don't join any of them, because you rarely ever, I don't think I've ever seen a good YouTube story from a small or mid-sized YouTuber talking about how they just love their network. That's like a freaking unicorn. You're not gonna see it in real life. This is the last one that I can remember, is that you get paid $1 per 1,000 views that you get. You guys can also look up these things on AdSense help. AdSense really is not of real help, but they can help you get through a couple things that if you really want to know what's going on. So there's 2 different things you can look at. There's the RPM and there's the CPM, or other known as ECPM. RPM is the revenue per 1,000 seconds, and the ECPM is the impressions per 1,000 seconds. Google AdSense has different impressions depending on what you're advertising. For instance, like Instagram, Facebook, on your website, on YouTube, there are different calculations for the impressions, but pretty much anybody can figure it out. What you would do is just divide your estimated divided by your impressions times 1,000, and then you'll get a number. Like, your estimated is typically like what's in YouTube, and then you'll times it by like the views that it was calculated, and then you'll times it times 1,000, and then you'll come up with a certain number. You're able to calculate other people's revenues on YouTube, and it may not be exact, but it's typically around the number. Okay, so now that we gotten all that out the way, guys, let's talk about how much money I've made so far on YouTube from January to now. I do want to quickly say, after I made that video, I actually did not get paid the next month for August. I would say it was either August or September. I did not get paid because I just didn't make the threshold. The month after that, I ended up getting like 244. Then in October, it was like 280. So yeah, I did not get money after my first video. After that check, I never stopped getting paid every single month, like on the dot. Okay, so January of this year, I started off with about 10,000 subscribers, and my check for January was $512.19. My check for February was $893.65. My check for March was $461.86. April was $603.03. May was $1,800.08. June was $2,736.91. And then July was $1,303. So yeah, I'll show you guys screenshots from this month and last month for AdSense, and then I can kind of do like a small little walkthrough on how the numbers kind of came about. Obviously I don't know how the numbers came about, and I don't even know the views. Like, last time I knew the views because it was my first video. It was based off of like 160 60,000 views or 170,000. So I was getting about, you know, $1 per 1,000 expressions. But that's because my CPM grew, and that happens with everybody depending on how big it, but that happens with everybody depending on views, subscribers, taglines, search engines, like what's more popular at the time, you get paid more. For instance, last year if I would make a video that had about 5,000 views, I would maybe make like not even $5 sometimes. Now if I make a video and it has 5,000 views, it can easily get like $80. So the CPM has risen significantly. Sometimes it only gets $50, so it honestly just depends. Okay, so guys, those are all my checks from January to now. They have gone up and down, and when I looked at my creator studio for this month, it looks like after I calculated that my check is gonna be around $2,000. It just depends. I honestly was not very consistent last month, and I'm starting to get back into being consistent this month. So when I saw that it was over the $2,000 mark, I always know that it's going to be lower, like hundreds of dollars lower than what, you know, even if I scale it to 30 days, which is how YouTube works, it's never that number exactly. So there's no way that we even know how much we're going to get paid. Now, those numbers, somebody could honestly live off of that, but that's too inconsistent for me to personally live on, and I have other bills, so I couldn't do it. So I have other jobs outside of YouTube, and I use the social media from YouTube to do those other jobs. So through your channel or whatever form of social media that you have, like Instagram, Twitter, you can do sponsorships. Now, Instagram and Twitter are interesting because you're going to get paid a lot more for Instagram than you will on Twitter, but you typically get paid more for YouTube than you do on Instagram. It just depends on what type of social media personality that you are. Like for instance, fashion and fitness brands, they typically would get paid more than something else because those are the most popular. Fashion, people feed into a lifestyle and they like to see certain things, so they get paid. Fitness is more of a wide range of men and women, and it is a lifestyle, but it's more of like achieving a certain physique or body type, so people are going to follow that even if it's just to look at and they're not even doing it. I mean, it's something to follow. Then there's gaming, cooking, there's all types of other realms of social media that you can get into. Now as far as sponsorships go, I'm just going to be very honest with you guys. Depending on what it is, if I like it, I will charge around $50 to $400 per sponsorship. Now, I typically get around in the middle for mine, but if I like something, I'll do it for free, honestly, because I just love it. It depends on what brand it is, if they're just sending something, if it's PR mail. It all just depends on what it is. PR is public relations. It's just mail that if you're on the list, they'll just send things to your home. And whether or not you want to talk about it or show it on YouTube or on Instagram or whatever, you can do it. It's just free stuff that you get. I'm not on barely anybody's list, but sometimes I do receive things and I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. They'll just send you out things randomly to your home to try out. The way that you can get a sponsorship is going on FameBit or Grapevine, but there are new companies coming up all the time, but those two in particular are the ones that I've used the most. Now, of course, you can always get emailed depending on what you have in your description box for YouTube. Now, I have that, but I always recommend you guys putting, like, asking them to put a tagline so that you can know what's coming. A lot of times people just email you about anything and it's like they didn't even take up the time to know who you are. Part of the time for these sponsorships, I usually would just get an email from someone and then we'll work out the payment, what our agreement is, what day, and how the payment is going to be dispersed. Sometimes they'll send you a check, but most of the time you're going to get it through PayPal. Now, a quick tip, guys, whenever you're sending out proposals on websites for a sponsorship, you need to put your name, like where you are, like introduce yourself, because a lot of companies do take into consideration of the shipping costs. So if you're in a different country, they may say no, and a lot of times in fine print you may see that it says shipping to US and Canada only looking for Australia, only looking for the UK. So make sure you look at that before you waste your time like typing up one. And a lot of times they can tell if you copy and pasted it. I didn't know that. But a lot of times they'll say like no copy and pasted submissions. And then on top of that, guys, don't get down about it and don't get discouraged. A lot of times you will see that they're being very discriminatory, especially against certain races. Like for instance, like hair companies will say like pretty black girls only on it. But you know they're not going to say that about, you know, another person. So don't get discouraged. Just know that they're ignorant and that there is no like such thing as that. And just understand that once they say something like that, you automatically have no idea what is even considered a pretty black girl, so it's not even worth going for. So I'm gonna wrap this video up and give you guys some last really good pieces of advice in order to make more money off of the videos that you already have. Now, if you make a video that's 10 minutes or longer, it's eligible to do multiple ads in there. So whenever you see a YouTuber that has like 5 or 6 ads in one video, that's because the video is 10 minutes or longer. Another way to make more money off of your video is to transcribe it. Transcribing is just adding on your own closed caption. I do that a lot for my videos. It started off simply because I had deaf, hard of hearing subscribers and people who were at work and had to wait till they got home to watch my videos. So I was just like, I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna just transcribe it. I would sit there, and I love typing, and I would just spend, you know, depending on the length of the video, I talk pretty fast sometimes. Sometimes it'll take 30 minutes, sometimes it'll take an hour or two, but it's totally worth it. Once I started doing that, for the minimal work that I do on YouTube, and you guys will see, sometimes I only put out 3 or 4 videos a month, maybe like 7, maybe, and I still, you know, topple over the 1,000 or 1,400 mark. So transcribing actually works. What it does is when another country doesn't know what another YouTuber is talking about, they'll put on closed caption. Closed caption doesn't work necessarily for you. It works for YouTube and it brings YouTube more money, but when you actually go in yourself and transcribe, more of the money goes to you. And on top of that, your words aren't getting jumbled up and misunderstood, because closed caption is going to say anything. Your caption is going to say exactly what you're saying. It's spelled the way that they can understand, and it's going to translate to every single country. So it makes you more visible to other ones. My video about how much YouTubers make my check, it made around $1,000, but actually the views slowed down about 90,000. But when I went in and actually transcribed it and was trying out new things, the video got way more views, and that happened within a week. I mean, it slowed down, and typically when YouTube videos slow down, that means that YouTube is not really promoting it or pushing it as much. So sometimes you have to go in yourself and personally push your own video. Make sure it's decent content and that you don't abuse it. I've seen people put literally 20 ads in a 17-minute video. I saw that and I immediately just like clicked off. So you know what to do. Keep it at a minimum. Make sure the content is good and that you're keeping people engaged. Which brings me into talking about clickbait. It doesn't really work. As far as views goes, yes, it definitely works. But as far as money goes, I wouldn't really say it does. Whenever somebody clicks on your video and they see that it's not really about that topic, they will click out. Now, if a person actually sits through your video, you're gonna make more money from a person sitting through majority of your video than you are of a person that's only watching the first 5 or like the first minute of your video. Whether they watched an ad or not, yes, you're gonna get paid for the ad, but advertisers like whenever people can sit longer through your videos. And when you have that, your videos are more likely to have ads appear on them if they're less than 10 minutes long. So keep that into consideration, guys. If you're thinking about doing clickbait, at least try to have the clickbaity-ish stuff at the first like minute of it, you know what I mean? And then go on if your subscribers are not familiar with your style. And guys, honestly, my last piece of advice is this. Don't worry about trying to gain more subscribers. In the meantime, I mean, it's totally important to have new people come and discover you, but in the meantime, you really should worry about who's already there. Try to make them more familiar with yourself and try to keep them coming back, because that's where you're going to see more revenue coming from. When people are constantly coming back to your videos because they want to see you, versus all you're doing is just scrambling to try to get more subscribers and more subscribers. But then you're like, I'm getting all these subscribers, but nobody's really viewing me. Like, what's going on here? You need to take a look at your channel, get them engaged a bit more, and have something that kind of just like freshens it up a little bit to get out of the norm. I mean, come on. YouTube is like a relationship. Sometimes you have to freshen it up to, you know, get things excited again. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all the advice that I have for you. I really hope that this video helped you. I hope that I got everything in there that you needed in a good time frame. I may do one more video to help out if anything changes. I mean, I feel like things are going to change, you know, once my channel grows a lot more, and I can kind of give you guys a different perspective on things. But for the most part, guys, that is it. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them down below. And if you like videos like this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you like videos like this, and it also helps out your videos a lot. Now, I forgot to mention this earlier in the video, but you don't get paid for every like that you get. But if a lot of people like your video in a certain amount of time, YouTube will recognize that and you'll start showing up in recommendations more frequently. So just remember that. So like I said, guys, If you like videos like this, please give me a thumbs up. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, don't forget to put them down below. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.